Zion had always been the golden kid. Good grades, clean record, the one teachers trusted to lock the classroom after school. He didn't try to impress anyone. He just did things right, until he didn't. It was the final term of high school, a big exam, the one that shaped college admissions, scholarships, and the future. Zion studied, like always. He thought he was ready. But when the results came, his name wasn't on the list. Not top 10, not top 50. He had failed. Everyone was shocked, except Zion, because deep down he knew he hadn't been fully present that year. His mind was elsewhere, scattered between pressure, doubt, and quiet fear he never admitted. Still, the news hit hard. He didn't cry. He didn't talk. He just went quiet. For days he avoided eye contact. His phone stayed off. His room stayed dark. It wasn't just the exam. It was his identity. He had always been the smart one. Now he didn't know who he was. One afternoon, his uncle visited, an old man who never gave advice unless someone asked for it. He sat beside Zion on the porch and asked, "So what happens next?" Zion shrugged. "I don't know. I think this is the end." His uncle chuckled. "No, it's the beginning." Zion looked confused. His uncle said, "Let me tell you a story, not about passing, but failing. Years ago, there was a sculptor named Arav. He worked every day on a huge block of stone, carving the statue of a lion. For months, people laughed. "You've been at this for so long, and we still see nothing." But Arav kept chiseling, quietly, patiently. One day a traveler asked, "How do you know a lion is inside this rock?" Arav smiled. "Because I see what no one else sees. Every mistake, every failure helps me bring it out." And then he said, "The day I cracked the stone wrong was the day I realized where the real lines were." Zion sat in silence. His uncle continued, "Your failure is the first crack, painful but revealing. Now you see what matters. Now you can shape something real." Zion nodded slowly. This wasn't about fixing what was broken. It was about building something new, and finally, building himself, not a version others expected. The next day, Zion made a simple plan. No chasing perfection. No comparing himself to old versions of who he was. He broke his day into small goals. Read for 30 minutes. Review one concept. Write down one insight. He wasn't trying to prove anything anymore, just grow. And strangely, the pressure lifted. He began enjoying the process. Learning became less about outcomes, more about clarity. Months passed. Zion took a second chance at the exam. And this time, he didn't just pass. He understood every concept deeply, not because he feared failure, but because he had learned through it. His teachers noticed the shift. He was no longer chasing titles. He was building strength, quiet, consistent, inner strength. Years later, when Zion became a mentor himself, a student once asked, "What was the moment everything changed for you?" Zion didn't talk about his comeback, or the books he read, or the school he got into. He just said, "The day I failed was the day I stopped pretending. That's when everything began." He smiled and added, "Failure isn't the end of your story. Sometimes it's the page where the real one starts."